Good morning. Welcome to the annual Heart of America Women's Basketball Media Day. I'm your host, Stephen Davis. And right now, we're happy to be joined by Grandview University head coach Jasmine Storr and Ellie Rangsdorf. Coach Ellie, how are you guys today? How are things up in Des Moines?
We're great. It's a little bit gray out right now.
Well, it's getting to be basketball season, Coach. Obviously, you had a very successful year last year, leading the program into the NAIA National Tournament. How important was that success for your program, and how do you hope to replicate it now in your second year?
I think program-wise, especially after losing a large senior class the year before and many new players stepping up and taking on new minutes, new roles, it was a huge accomplishment as a program, but more importantly for the individuals making up the team. Same goal as last year. As we know, the Heart's a competitive conference to play in, which is why we love it. To get to that national tournament, even that first round, it's a tough journey, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally. But I know these players have definitely set that as a goal.
Coach, introduce us to Ellie sitting there next to you and what she means to your team on and off the court.
Yeah, Ellie's our starting point guard. She's a senior this year. Last year, took over that role as the point guard that held many minutes for us. I think her biggest asset is she's just fearless. You can always know what she's going to give every single game. There's no doubt in your mind that she's given 100%. She's diving. She'll go after just about anyone defensively. So as a leading point guard, especially coming back as a true upperclassman, the very top of the class, we can't be excited enough for what she brings and who she is for us.
Ellie, Coach just blew you up pretty good there. Tell us a little bit about yourself before we get into the basketball side, where you're from and how your journey took you to Grandview.
Yeah, so I'm a senior, like she said. I'm from Red Oak, Iowa, little town in the southwest corner. Yeah, I just, excuse me, kind of fell in love with Des Moines my senior year of high school, and that kind of brought me to Grandview, and I've had a great 4 years here, so I'm very excited for this senior season.
How much have you enjoyed that opportunity to be at Grandview and get to share the stage with your teammates now for 4 seasons?
It's been amazing. The connections you build along the way. I mean, on the court, we've been successful because like we're all hard workers and we all have the same goal in mind. But even off the court, the people here are just amazing and the connections you make are just unforgettable. So I'm very grateful for what I've gained from Grandview.
Coach, let's flip back to you for a moment. Tell us about your team for this season and the chemistry you've seen from them so far.
Yeah, we actually just got done with our first scrimmage date this last weekend, and it was fun. We got to scrimmage some really good and well-known JUCO teams. The core group we have returning, we have about 7 that are core returners from last year, recognizable faces around the Heart. And then we added 7 new players between a D2 transfer, Cleo Murray. We have 2 new freshmen that add some height and athleticism across the forward position. And then we have some sophomores that are actually coming up through our varsity reserve who added pieces that I think we are going to benefit from.
You mentioned 7 returners back, some familiar names and faces. Who are some of those 7 that you think will play big roles and help lead your team this year?
Yeah, probably one of the biggest names we have is Ella Larson. She's a first teamer, all conference, honorable mention, All-American returning junior. Kaylin Myers, she's a returning junior. She played a backup post player for us. So she'll be again taking on some new role there behind graduation of Izzy Grischeidel, who was a second team all conference player last year. Anna Gosling is a returning freshman all conference last year as a sophomore guard. Rachel Lear, her older sister, played here. D2 transfer. She came out of a D2 team, and she would be returning as a sophomore. So I would say those are Colby Burt is a JUCO transfer last year, played a backup post player. So those would be, and then Lauren Connery is a senior guard from last year. One of our more, I would say, we value her defensively. She took on a lot of the other big time names across the conference every single game. And again, just like Ellie did it fearlessly, because there's some really good players across this conference. So,
Coach, we mentioned your success from last year, and you talked about how the goals don't change season to season. What's it going to take this year with this group to be able to reach those goals?
yeah, I mean, I think you set your goals high, just like every team, every year. I hope, they're setting their goals high as well. I think it takes collectiveness. Not every player is going to play, and we understand that in college, but a team that truly is mature enough to understand it's truly about each individual, yes, but it's about how each individual fits into the puzzle. So I think if we can get all pieces fitting at the right time, every single night, it's going to be a really good season for us.
Ellie, we heard Coach talk about team chemistry a little bit ago. What are your thoughts on the chemistry you guys have as teammates this year?
Yeah, I think we have something special going for us this year. Excuse me, sorry. We graduated 3 people last year. So, like we said, we have 7 returning. So we were kind of on the younger side last year to get everybody just a year under their belt, a year together, I think was a very inviting atmosphere for the newcomers to come into. And I think we all gelled really well together. And I think it's going to show on the court this season.
Do you guys have any pregame rituals, individual or as a team, any superstitions, anything you guys do before games or practices to make sure you're locked in?
I know that everybody has some individual rituals. As a team, we kind of all lock in our own ways before we go out on the court. But like for me, I have to drink a cherry Pepsi before every game. So that's just like my individual one. And I know about everybody has like their own little individual superstition before going out there.
Very interesting. All right. Besides the pregame cherry Pepsi each game, what are you most excited for this year, Ellie?
Oh my gosh, that's a hard question. I'm really excited. I'm excited for a lot of things. Like conference tournament is always so exciting. I think we have a really good shot of going far in that this year. Obviously excited for nationals. I'm just excited to really grow as a team this year. I think we are really going to make some strides as individual people and as a team collectively. So I think that's going to be really fun to watch everybody really grow into their roles. And just an overall season.
Coach, it is a long season and it's a grind in the heart with 24 conference games. How do you go about keeping the team motivated for all of those game in and game out? How do you and your staff prepare each week for that?
I think knowing the group that, I have a year now with this group, but knowing each of especially the returners who have been through it now, I think they motivate themselves pretty well. Like she's talked about, they all are driven, very, very just driven individuals. Sometimes it's hard to keep them off the court where I'm like, no, take a break. I do think there is some benefit, actually the opposite of, hey, if we can take some days off, let's take some days off. I think that's healthy for everyone. But I also think it's motivating coming back and now you're hungry to be back on the court, back competing with your friends. So I would say they do a great job about doing it. We do a good job, I think, of trying to keep the big picture in mind. We all know it's the sprint. Sure, we're sprinting towards that next game, preparing. We scout just like every other team. We're gonna be scouting here in the next couple weeks, pretty heavily. But also them understanding that it's a journey and it's a long journey, and prepare that night before, make sure you're ready for that game day, and then let yourself relax a little bit between those games and then do it all over again. Because that's ultimately the teams that take it game by game, I think have a best shot in the end.
LA, last question for you. You said you fell in love with Des Moines in the recruiting process. What are some of your favorite things to do, either by yourself or with teammates there in Des Moines? Any activities you guys go out and do? Any places you hit?
Yeah, so Gray's Lake is always so fun. I love going on, like, I know a lot of us like to go walk there or like go on little shakeout jogs are really nice to do there. There's a bunch of local coffee shops that we love to go to. West Des Moines has the mall, which is really nice, and I know we all like to go out there on our days off. So
Good stuff. Coach, last question for you. Grandview, the athletic department captured its third straight Hart Commissioners Cup last year. Top department in the conference. What does it mean to you to be part of such a successful and high achieving athletics department?
I think everyone says the word blessed, and you truly understand how blessed you are being a part of it. But our leadership is outstanding. Being around other coaches who are driven, who are successful, who have that mindset to just keep going, only influences my life to be the very best I can for them. It means everything to me to be a part of this program and a part of this athletic department.
Great stuff. Coach, Ellie, thanks so much for the time today. Best of luck this season.
thank
Thank you so much.